If you had the option of picking superpowers in the context of the UPSC examination, what would be the one superpower that you would pick? Would it be memory? Would it be intelligence? Would it be speed? I think the superpower which you should pick, the one ability which trumps all other abilities and which will help you disproportionately, is the power of language. You see, language is the foundation and the backbone of this entire examination. And this is unique amongst my examinations because in other exams like the GMAT and so on, this is not the case. This particular examination, the UPSC exam, is heavily dependent and oriented around language. You can see that in the structure of the mains exam. You can see that in the prelims itself. The amount of knowledge that you need to acquire needs to be well translated into and very well understood in whatever medium you are appearing, you are using in your examination, whether that's English or Hindi or Tamil, whatever that might be. The fact remains that if you are able to write well, use language well, communicate language effectively, that is equivalent to good thinking, clear thinking. You see, the way language is structured is that once thoughts are put into words, you have no choice but to organize them and to see what your thoughts are. When you're writing, you are putting your thoughts down on paper in front of you in black and white. And more often than not, when that happens, you realize that your thoughts are not as good as you thought they were, or they're not as concise, or probably they're not as organized, or they're not as effective in communicating what you think you're thinking, but it's not being well translated into words. And this ability is fundamental to this entire examination. And it is most overtly and most directly tested in the essay paper in the mains examination. And that is why I suggest that it should be tackled first in your preparation because it has the power to orient your entire preparation. If you get the language down, if you get the thinking process streamlined and organized, which inevitably happens when you write a lot, if you get that, then everything you do from that point on, including all the reading, all the analysis, all the knowledge acquisition that you will do, will become very streamlined and oriented towards clear thinking because you will be forced to see that your thinking and your writing are at an imbalance, and I want you to correct that imbalance. Once your thought become words, either on paper or on your screen, you will have no choice but to see them, and then that feedback loop will start to occur in your mind. So the challenge that I'm describing today is directed towards, geared towards, and aims at changing that fundamental mindset within you. What I mean is that the mindset with which you now acquire knowledge, whether that is for general studies, economics, polity, or for your optional subject, knowledge acquisition is necessary and fundamental, and you will be doing it a lot during your preparation. The mindset with which you do it, unfortunately, takes a long time to develop because it takes you an attempt or maybe more to realize that in the mains examination, none of your knowledge is worth it. None of your knowledge is coming to your rescue because what they ask in the examination and the way they ask, right, should determine the way that you've been learning all this while. It takes a while to understand that, and I don't want that to happen to you. I would like that you should get through this examination in the fastest way possible and not make this mistake at all. So the endeavor, the hope in this challenge that I will be describing to you shortly is that that mindset should be informed at the outset so that you look at your preparation from that mindset only this point going forward, whichever stage of the preparation you are in. And what is that mindset? That mindset is knowing and realizing that you will never be using or writing more than 1,000 words on anything at all in this examination. Everything that you read, the hundreds of pages, the thousands of words that you will encounter is information which you will end up condensing and summarizing and organizing. That is what you will be doing through this entire examination, including your preparation in prelims. And you will never be required to write more than 1,000 words, which is the amount of words which you write in an essay, in the essay paper. The other questions in the mains examination, the word limit is going to be shorter, 100, 200, 600, whatever. But None of these word limits is a very large word limit, as you will find out today after today's exercise. The challenge is going to be, how do you organize, condense, summarize, and simplify a seemingly complicated topic, right? This is the fundamental challenge of this examination, and this is the orientation which you should have from the very beginning. Take that orientation with you, wear those glasses, wear that point of view when you read the newspaper, when you read the NCRTs, or when you do any type of learning, because always remember at the back of your mind, whatever you're reading will have to be condensed and analyzed in 500 words or so, taking an average. From that point of view, go into all of your preparation, which brings me to today's challenge. Today's challenge is this. That is your topic. Technology is a double-edged sword. This is your topic. It is a relatively abstract, relatively important topic because it is relevant to general studies. Not only, it is very well a topic worth asking in the essay paper, and I believe a question to this effect has already been asked in the mains exam. But anyway, it remains pertinent as ever. And so this is your topic, and the challenge that you are facing today is this. You need to write 500 words on this topic. Your 500 words should be the best 500 words on this topic which you can write. What do I mean by best? I will describe as I go along. What is going to happen is you will start thinking about technology and what is a double-edged sword, and then you will start to get some ideas, right? But usually thinking stops over there, and you don't take the time to summarize, condense, and actually see what your thoughts really were. What you're going to do in this challenge is exactly that. You will take those thoughts, you will end up putting them down on paper, and those thoughts should be the best 500 words on the topic which you can write. After you write them, they should be in a format, in a form which, when I read them, should tell me about that topic, should educate me about that topic. I should be pleased after reading it, in the sense that it should be an easy read for me. I want it to be simplified and I want it to be explained. You can use examples, you can use data, and you can use whatever you want. But that is what your topic is, and your task is to explain, simplify, and write the best possible 500 words you possibly can on this topic. Imagine that you cannot have a conversation with your reader while you're writing these words. And imagine that your reader can only read. Perhaps the reader is deaf. So what would you say to that reader in the 500 best possible words that you could say to him or her on this topic, which I just showed you? Now, there are rules to this taking this challenge, which you must follow with sincerity. And one of the rules is you cannot do any research on this topic. Absolutely no research. And absolutely no research is required, because trust me, you know more than enough about this topic. It has affected your life and you've thought about it more than enough times to know what to write about it and what not. In any case, this is not a knowledge-based question, and the knowledge which you require to write on a topic like this is already there. So absolutely no research, no Google searches, no book references, nothing. Go with whatever you have in your mind about that topic and write. How do you write? Rule number 2. You must first write in a Word document. You must first type. You must not take pen and paper, and you must not write directly on the paper with your pen. You must first type. There's a very good reason for this. And that reason is that when you type, you are able to edit. And you're able to organize. You're able to copy paste sentences, shuffle them around the page. And this is very, very essential, very fundamental, which I learned the hard way after spending quite a lot of time trying to write my book, which I ended up writing. But it taught me this one fundamental thing. Everybody thinks that writing is difficult because they presume when they see a book that this must have been hard to write. How can somebody think of all these long sentences, passage after passage and sentence after sentence? The fact of the matter is nobody does that. The fact of the matter is that all writing is basically just editing. You write a bunch of gibberish, which you might find embarrassing, and that's fine. And then you edit that gibberish. And that then you filter out the good stuff from that, and then you add thoughts as they are coming, and then it becomes something worth reading. This is the process you must go through, and that is why I'm insisting that you first type only, and then after you have typed and after you have condensed whatever it is that you wanted to say to your reader in 500 words or less, you then transcribe on a piece of paper, right? So first, no research. Second, you must start by typing. Third, edit that typing as much as you need. Do it at least 2 or 3 times, 2 or 3 rounds of edits. Shuffle the sentences around, shuffle the words around. Remember, no research. And then when you're done, when you think that they are now in the best possible sequence or the best possible format, and you think that the grammar is correct, and you think that it's reading well, and that you think that it's coming out smoothly, and that the reading has become good, and the points that you have added are adding value, then you transcribe it on a piece of paper. That is the last step. Filter everything that you've written in the 500 best possible words and sentences. Try not to use bullets and numbering. Don't use bullet and numbering. Let them be completely well-formed sentences of English or Hindi or whatever. Well, I will restrict you to English or Hindi because that is the restriction of my language capability. So whenever you do write, filter them in the best 500 possible words on that topic. I'm not giving you any more rules than that. It's simple enough. At the end of this countdown, you must begin. You'll have 48 hours like before to complete this challenge. If you do it well, it will change the way you think, and it will inform your mind for this type of thinking for, I think, for a very, very long time to come. You do this now, it will orient you towards not only essay writing, but it will orient you towards the entire examination. And every reading that you do after that will become easier. So this is a very fundamental challenge to take. I believe you've had a bunch of bonus countdowns here, but this one is the real one. Get to work.